Today's task is to get the pork ribs out of the freezer. This is going to end up being a 2-day process with these, but I'm going to start with getting these in a Dutch oven on the wood stove and just letting them cook nice and slow until we're ready for dinner. Then we'll have the pork, and then from there we'll use the leftovers for another project to preserve. So I have just a touch of water in the bottom of this just to keep it from burning to the bottom while it starts releasing juices, and then it'll be fine from there. I'm going to put a cover on it and just let it start warming up and slowly cook. So this has been on the stove most of the day. It is definitely done. We are pulling back off of the bones, so we are ready to eat this for dinner. We're going to be able to use the leftover barbecue sauce that didn't quite fit in the canning jars and eat this for dinner tonight. Anything left over, the bones and any scraps or anything we don't finish will be put back in the pot here, and then we will add a bunch of pinto beans to it. From there we'll let it cook overnight, and then we will be canning up our own baked beans.
We finished eating these ribs for supper, and this is everything that's left. We did double the amount that we took out of the freezer because we anticipated making some baked beans out of it, so there is a lot extra pork left over, but that's totally fine because we kind of want to can it in with the baked beans. So now we just need to add those beans. We're going to be adding dry beans to this, and while we don't need to necessarily cook them for the canning process, we do want to completely soak them. So we are going to add a couple cups of beans to this, and then we are going to add enough water just to kind of cover them. We might have to add more water again tomorrow just to make sure that they are fully rehydrated, I suppose. But otherwise, all we have to do tonight is just add the beans, add a little bit of water, and then we're just going to set it back over by the wood stove. I think this is a 1 liter weck jar, and we're just going to put this entire jar of beans in here, and then we'll see what it looks like. Go. We are not doing more than that. That's so many beans. Now that we have all those beans in there, we want to fill it up with some water. So we don't want to just put enough water in there to just cover the beans because they are going to really soak up a lot more. So we want to have probably at least 1 inch to 2 inches of water over top, if not more than that. I think I'm going to start with kind of getting about 1 inch to 2 inches of water. We'll see how it goes, and then in the morning we'll just check on them then. It's the next morning. We ended up letting this sit overnight in the fridge instead of on the stove, so it did get cold. We took advantage of that and we scraped off all the fat from the top, but we do want to get it up to temperature today. The beans have not quite soaked up enough of that liquid yet, so we're going to have it on the stove and just kind of get it heated up a little bit. These beans are definitely thoroughly hydrated now. I'm just going to let this cool down for a little bit, and then I might start picking out some of the bones. But then we need to start adding all of the ingredients to turn these from just beans and pork to actual baked beans. I couldn't remember if I liked the bigger chunks of onions or the smaller chunks of onions in this. So I kind of did half the onion I left a little bit bigger, the other half I diced a little bit finer. But we have 1 whole onion in this pot. And then the next thing we're going to add is a couple dollops of molasses.
Gotta specify black strap molasses.
Black.
Regular is disgusting.
Yes, that's true. It is black strap molasses. We got a different kind one time and it is so gross. We still have the jar. We are not going to use it. I'm not sure what to do with it, to be honest. And then we do sweeten this up just a little bit. For this entire pot, we're going to add half of a cup of sugar. We have not added any salt to any part of this yet, so we're going to put in 2 teaspoons of salt. And then the last thing we're going to add is we have some of this smoky barbecue sauce that we just did a couple days ago. We're going to add the rest of this that didn't quite fit as a full jar. And then we're also going to pull off one of our older barbecue sauce. This is not the one that has a smoky flavor, but I think it'll do just fine. So this isn't quite looking like how we normally do, and I'm not surprised because this is a way bigger batch than what we've typically done in the past. So I think I'm going to add another jar of barbecue sauce, and then I'm also going to add another dollop or 2 of molasses. I think that's looking a lot better now. Do you want to come peek at this and give it a little taste?
What'd you change? What'd you add?
I added more barbecue sauce and more molasses. Okay. I guess I could turn it on again if you want. You got a raw onion, didn't you?
Yeah.
Not bad, or
It's
not good?
no, it's good, but
Does it need vinegar?
no.
Okay.
I don't know what it's missing.
Are
It's
you
missing
just gonna
something.
keep eating it? Well, maybe I should try it because you're not giving me an answer.
I just need. I mean, it's pretty good. It is.
I'm gonna need the spice. Maybe.
Is it a spice?
It is good. I would be happy with this as it is.
I'm
Actually.
pretty happy with that too. All right,
Yeah.
can it up.
Okay, the more I try it, the more I like it.
Yeah. Don't eat it all before we can it up.
Like, I'm gonna eat this entire pot. That's actually really good. Okay.
It is really good.
Right?
Yeah. Let's can it up.
I like that we have a lot more pork in it versus just plain beans, though. So there it is. This right here is what we did. It's a jumbled mess. So close. We have quite a full canner load. I'm pretty happy with this. Almost, but not quite enough for a complete maxed out canner load. And we are going to go ahead and start canning them because it is going to take a long time. We are canning them at the same time that you would can either beans or meat. So I'm pretty sure that's 90 minutes. Maybe 75 for pints. I'm going to have to double check that. And now we just wait. We've made this recipe a few times before, but we've never tried canning it. So far, from what I can tell, I think it looks pretty awesome. It tasted really good before it went into the canner. I mean, in the jars, it kind of looks a little weird, but it should still taste just as good, and I'm excited to have it on our shelves. Realistically, this should last us a year for sure. We don't really eat baked beans that often, but when we do, it's nice not having to go through the process of cooking beans and making them from scratch. It's nice to be able to just grab a can and just eat them. So this is just one more thing out of the freezer and onto our shelves.